Hey, how you guys doing? I hope everything's going great. I've got another video that I'm excited to share with you. It's another FBI most wanted criminal, and I believe I found the location, and I just wanted to share the information, of course. And this one is specifically for William Bradford Bishop Jr. So I spent a while trying to channel this information and put it together, and believe I was able to get the correct answer. So I'm going to share here in a moment how I did that and exactly where he's located. So in this case, he's no longer alive, but I will share exactly where he's buried. All right, so here's the Wikipedia page. If you'd like to read a little bit about it, but just kind of to give you the overall story. So William Bradford Bishop Jr. He is wanted for murder by the FBI. He has been for quite some time. The murders actually took place, let's see, back in 1976, actually, so quite a while ago. But he had actually murdered his wife, his mother, and all three of his children, his sons, who were only 5, 10, and 14 at the time. After that, he was on the run, and apparently there have been some sightings of him, but no actual arrests or anything like that. So some of the places that he possibly could be hiding it mentioned, was abroad or in California. And California is actually where I was brought to while channeling this information. So here's the information on Wikipedia. And it's important to point out, too, of course, that his mother and his wife at the time and his 3 children are doing absolutely fine in the afterlife. Just to let you guys know, so it's a beautiful place. Everything is perfect, and they are doing just fine. So that's exactly how it works. And I'll speak to more about that in other videos as well. So that's definitely a good thing to point out. Now, the FBI posters here as well. Some of this may or may not be relevant. It may, but considering that he's dead, so that's the information I got, and then I'll show you the process here in just a moment. But here's some more information about the actual crime itself and what he could possibly look like now. But when I had first started and I was trying to get this information, speaking mostly to Annette herself directly, once I found out that he actually died a few years ago, she tried to help me pinpoint exactly where he was buried. So after a little bit of back and forth, I did land on Northern California, and this part of the state right here, in fact. And I asked specifically, actually, is it a cemetery? Something that we could find online, something that can help me put this together a little bit. And she had confirmed that it was. Annette said that it was, and I had what I had heard as well. It brought me right here. So I typed in cemetery and tried to listen to the best of my abilities and see if it was possibly these, and ended up after a while confirming that it was this one. So when you do click on this, it's in a very small town in California, Alder Point, and it's a very small cemetery as well. So they don't have an actual website, but I punched it into Google, and I'll show you what comes up. So there's this website called findagrave.com, and it's really useful too. So it's a public record of a lot of gravestones and memorials, that sort of thing. So when you click on Harris Cemetery specifically, since they don't have a website, there is a collection of some information here. So as you can see, there's not too many people on here, about 79 people that are buried there here. So I had sorted it by death date and just started to look for the most recent dates in the past few years. and see what they could point me to. So this name here actually stood out: William Frederick Bushnell Jr. His father is also buried here, William Frederick Bushnell Sr. So I had clicked on these to see, because it sounds awfully familiar to William Bradford Bishop Jr. So one thing too, like if you go on the FBI website, a lot of criminals, like for their aliases, they'll have the same first name. Like they use the same first name or a different last name, or same last name, different first name, or something very similar to what they're used to. So not always, but you'll notice that if you go through like all these wanted posters. So, and this one definitely sounds very similar. So William Bradford Bishop Jr., William Frederick Bushnell Jr. Not this one. Senior is the father, and I'll explain that here in a moment. So if you look here, you can actually see he was buried here. And if you look on public records, and if you go on like Ancestry.com, you'll notice that this is his wife here, Anna. And public records online show they only have one son, only one. So, and that's William Frederick Bushnell Jr. So, excuse me, I was able to find that online as well. But if you look on this website, something stands out. So there's actually two children here, William Frederick Bushnell and William F. Bushnell as well. Considering they only have one son, according to the public records and everything like that online, if you look at this one right here, March 25th, 1940, here's his death, here's his burial at Harris Cemetery. So now if we go back to the father, and actually real quick, the mother too. So Anna Lopez Winbigler, birth and death right here, and then the burial, of course, and it says where she's buried. Now, if you go back, so real quick again, here's their son. It gives all his information here. Now it's showing his sibling. Again, there's only one son that they had together. Exact same birthday, different death date, but the burial information is kept private. So it is kind of suspect if you look at it. Like, why would all of their information be here public? They only have one child, one son, and a lot of times, and they have the same birthday, different death dates, but for this one, for some odd reason, it shows, remember, it showed the parents, the father and the mother and the son, where they were buried. This person chose to keep their burial information private, probably because this is a stolen identity. So that's actually where I landed on too. So as I was talking to Annette specifically, and also my spiritual guides as well, I did get confirmation over and over that this is actually where he's buried. So I am pretty sure I heard that correctly. And plus all this information, it is kind of suspect. So the name patterns, plus also, when you have one son and you name him a junior, usually, because remember there's two with the same birthday, usually when you have twins, you don't name them both junior. So that included what, all things considered as well. This does kind of paint a very curious picture that some of this information is online, or how it's being displayed, So I did submit this to the FBI, and let them know, well, at the very least, if it's something you could look into. This does kind of raise a few red flags as far as this possibly being a stolen identity right here, and it might be worth their time and effort to look into. So this is where he's buried. All right, so there you go. That's the information there. Hopefully it can be put to use. Hopefully it is of use, and this particular case can be, some closure can come from it, basically, and some good, that sort of thing. So I really hope that it does help in one way or another. And I really appreciate you watching this video again, and I'll continue to put together more cases and more information and share this and continue to add it for my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and take care, and God bless.